What is good, everybody? Welcome back to Jump Dropper Sports. I'm your host, Sean T. Stewart, back here with my dog, A. Smith in the cut, man. Yeah. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
special time of the year for
Mm-hmm.
all our basketball teams. Unfortunately, D, you know what I'm saying? Your team did not make the cut. You are the weakest link, brother. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't dance. You feel me? Everybody don't get to make it to this point. But before we get into basketball, we got to talk about a little bit of football. NFL draft is right around the corner. The Carolina Panthers had the 19th overall pick. We've talked about what the Panthers may do at this position. What are we thinking now as we get closer? Do you have a strong feeling either which way about where the Panthers will go at the number 19th overall pick?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm gonna continue to play my cards right here. I told you what I really think is going to happen in the pre-show, but I'm continuing to head that direction. I think we're gonna get Kenyon Sadiq from Oregon. You know what I'm saying? Tight end. You know what I'm saying? There's another guy from Oregon who I really like, but I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna spoil it or anything like that, brother. But let's just keep that offense high power. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep building on the offense, man. You feel me? That's all,
Hey,
man.
look,
Let
look,
me
look.
stop. Let me
I
stop
I
lying.
look. I know what you. I look. I understand the psychological warfare that's happening right now. As soon as we say, "Hey, they should do this," they go the exact opposite. You know what I'm saying? Bend the corner on is real crazy. You know what I'm saying? On some Jello ball stuff. But if he ain't gonna talk about it, brother, I got to say something. I ain't gonna lie. There's a couple of safeties that the Panthers have been connected to throughout this process, and I decided finally to take a look at both of them. That's Dylan Thieneman from Oregon, the other guy that you were mentioning, and Emmanuel McNeil Warren from Toledo.
Mm-hmm.
These two names have been the names, and I'll start. We can get to the nitty gritty. For most people within the fandom, they don't want Emmanuel McNeil Warren because they feel like his skill set mirrors Trayvon Modes, and they don't want to have just compounding skill sets within the room. But I'll be here to say that I don't know if you could pass up a guy like this, considering what we just saw out of the Super Bowl champions, Seattle Seahawks, and who they drafted last year that made a huge difference in how they play defense. And our very own Nicholas Eamon Ward, you know what I'm saying, from the university. Develop where? Develop here.
Develop here.
You know
Develop
what
here.
I'm saying? You know, he was developed that. But you start looking at how much of a difference he played into their defense. And not to say that McNeil Warren is gonna be that caliber of player, but they are similar in the types of skill sets and what they can do. Maybe not in at how they play, directly, but but they do bring a similar vein to a defense, a ferociousness that I think we need to add to this defense, a level of dog mentality that you need to add to this defense, and a guy that was a playmaker at his position, a guy that got his hands on the football. So I don't know if you can pass up a guy that does those kinds of things. I understand. Hey, maybe we don't want another guy that does what Trayvon Moore does, but again, I don't think anything is wrong with having multiple guys that can hover around the football, make plays around the football. You look at how much of a difference Mowick made for that defense this year compared to last year. It was night and day compared to the things that he can do. His versatility in the coverage game, what he can do in the run game. It makes life easier for a guy like a Vero for how he calls the defense. And I don't think anything is wrong with having multiple guys that do that. And with that being said, what are your thoughts on Emmanuel McNeil Warren?
Yeah, man. He does have traits of Nick and Warwick. And dog, what better way to have, like, we need more ball hawkins. I think that's what I think that's what really what the Panthers just missed. Like, it can't just be JC, it can't just be Mike Jack all the time. We need some ball hawks that can take care of the center of the field. If Mike Jack taking care of the other side, you got JC top three corner. It's not three, it's not two. You feel me? You got that on the opposite side of the field. Come on, bro. Let's help my man out. Let's take care of that the top part. Take away the top of the field. Um Also, I wouldn't be I honestly I wouldn't be so upset if we can get also a middle linebacker as well. just to help with the like what's my man from Ohio State? I know Rizma
Oh,
see
Sonny
this. He
Styles.
Sonny Styles.
Yeah.
Sonny Styles. Yeah.
But what's crazy though, and I saw people mention this about Sonny Styles, and I'm not gonna lie. When I watched Sonny Styles film a month or so ago, when I did the initial video about who the Panthers should draft, really what I thought was, I'm like, athletically has it all, has everything that you guys for, but there's a guy on the roster right now that does give me call for pause about a guy like Sonny Styles, and that's Isaiah Simmons. If you remember him coming out,
Yeah.
athletically, everything you could ask for, but isn't necessarily a true linebacker. You have people say, "Oh, he could fit as a safety. He could do." I don't know if I love where he's at right now. He still needs to be developed into where I believe he can be. But he does have, of course, high end level talent. But is it all? Is it all there today? No, but again, you don't pass up a guy that had that level of ability.
Upside.
So,
Yeah.
like for example, like if it's between him and Jacob Rodriguez, clearly you take Sonny Styles in
Hmm.
that in that department. But me personally, when I was, I'm not a film buff, y'all, so don't get on me about my film takes. But to me, Jacob Rodriguez had more of what I liked
Hmm.
in a middle linebacker, more instinctual. I think found a way to be effective in all facets of the game. Thought he tested really well at the combine, which made me fall more in love with him. And truth be told, look, Panthers GOAT, Luke Kuechly, one of the greatest linebackers to ever play the game, did stamp the kid. So he's got to still improve from one of the game's very best, the best to come through our franchise. So I mean, I feel obviously not at 19. I understand that is too rich for me with Jacob Rodriguez at that spot. But if there were a middle linebacker that I would take, then Jacob Rodriguez is a guy that I would like to have in a Panthers uniform for sure.
Where's Jacob Rodriguez projected to go? Cause I saw that we're in play. I saw that we bring him in for visits and everything like that. So like, is he projected to go like second round, third? If he's second or third, of course.
I believe he's more of a second round guy. I don't. If somebody, if he's projected, if he goes first, it's gonna be back half of the first round. I
Hmm.
think more like 25 to 32. I think that's where if he were to go in the first round, I think that would still be. It depends on the team. That's a reach, but as you get further into the back end of the first round, you have better teams that can afford to reach up for a guy that maybe they just like. They have a preference for this guy and his skill set and what he does. But I do believe he's more of a second round, more of a second round pick. Um, if I'm being honest though, Dylan Thieneman, when we were talking about safeties in
Hmm.
terms of guys that can really take care of the deep half of the field, he's more of that safety than McNeil Warren is. McNeil Warren's more of a Swiss Army knife, a guy that can play in the box, versatility around the line of scrimmage. I think he does have solid. I think really the question is going to be where is his coverage ability at in terms of being able to take care of tight ends. Dylan Thieneman is the guy to me that is as far as right now as far as the deep ball safety. I think he immediately solves your need right there.
Yeah.
I think you become more comfortable with him than having to play Nick Scott back there, who I think Nick Scott played fine for us for the majority of the year. I know the playoff game is the game where people point to and say, "Hey, man, he didn't what happened there." But I think for the majority of the year, you watch Nick Scott play, brother. He made plays for a guy that I think everybody had written off coming out of training camp. He made plays and he played well for us. He did help
Yeah.
stabilize that back
A
end.
lot of fans can't stand him. Then we can't.
Nah, facts.
Also, can't forget Corey Thornton as well. Like he showed flashes as well. In the cornerback position though, but you
Yeah.
know,
Corey Thornton is one of those guys that I hated when his injury happened because you talk about a guy that through training camp
flash.
showed great flashes. You talked about in certain regular season games. I think in the Miami game, for example, had a
Hmm.
big presence in that game. You saw him in the 49ers game as well, have a presence. So and he's that longer corner, that more physical corner that I know our team tends to like more. So I mean, you definitely hated seeing him go now. I don't even know what his timetable is in terms of his return and where he's at with
Hmm.
his rehab. I say I think that's definitely an interesting guy to keep an eye on. But obviously, I think the other thing too is the offensive line. Like that position, still with with Ike Ekwonu being going down. I know I didn't necessarily love. I was I didn't love. I'm just not comfortable with going into the season with the guys that we signed with just the guys that we signed. If there's an
Yeah.
opportunity to add more talent, then I want to add more talent into that room because you can never have enough offensive linemen. We saw that last year and how our season went. If not for the depth that we had, we wouldn't have made it as far as we did. So, Monroe Freeling is a guy that comes up a lot when you talk about the offensive tackle position, especially at that spot. Caden Proctor, of course, as well. Caden Proctor is one of those guys. He's a frustrating guy when you talk about him because athletically, he's got all the tools.
Hmm.
Like from an athletic standpoint, size, speed, physical, like he has it, but he doesn't play to that size all the time. And there are things that he can be coached out of course, but I just don't think he plays to that on a consistent basis. If you were to ask me, who do I think has the potential to be the better pro? Who has the potential to peak the highest? I say Caden Potter has the potential to peak the highest between him and Marlo Freeling. Who do I think
Yeah.
will be the better pro from day one and will give you solid reps from early on? Marlo Freeling to me feels
Hmm.
like the guy that gives you solid reps earlier right now that you could play and move forward with. I don't know if he peaks. Yeah, I don't think he peaks as high as Caden Potter though. So those are just a couple of guys that I'm thinking of.
I think I saw a clip yesterday. I think it's like mini camp. I guess the Panthers get ready for mini camp or something like that. But I saw Icky really didn't have no limp or no boot on. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's a good sign of things, but I doubt they're gonna rush. I mean, the shit like what he got hit with, you don't want to rush him back onto the field.
Yeah.
Especially on the turf field that we got to. I think we do need to draft a lineman. I wouldn't rule out, drafting he might be the first pick. Mike throws in the loop, you know what I'm saying? But
That's
I won't rule
facts.
that. I'm saying I won't rule that out. Um mm,
I'll
mm,
be honest though, the thing that's changed for me is I think the Oscar Delp has started to rise up a lot of boards.
yeah,
He started to become a guy that Panthers culture mainly being the guy I think really pushing for Oscar Delp being that second round pick, which
yeah.
does help out a great deal when you talk about a guy that is more of a vertical threat and in that tight end room would help bring more athleticism to that room that I think that we desperately need. If but it's all contingent upon what happens with that first overall pick. That's really the mindset there. And you even think about guys like Jalen Kilgore who will help you at the nickel position. Like
Yeah.
that's another guy that I know people they'll get caught up in the Gamecock hoopla. But just in being in all seriousness, you're talking about a guy that had played safety in college,
Yeah.
played nickel in college.
Yeah.
I think also has the ability to play outside, but I do like him as a nickel corner. Um, I think he would bring exactly what you need and exactly what they like in terms of size at that position as well. That if he's there in the third round, I don't really know where he's
You
projected.
gotta grab him. Second or third, at least. You
Second or
gotta
third
grab
round,
him.
if he's there, I think you have to
You
take a
gotta
stab at it.
grab him.
That's a guy to
Um
me he to me that's a guy that's going to play every Sunday. I don't think he's gonna DNP many Sundays in his rookie, even in his
and and,
rookie season.
and honestly, I think he will be. And I'm not trying to make it a Gamecock thing, but I really think if he goes second round, he'll be the Nick Warrior for whatever team he goes to. He's just
Yeah,
gonna flash that well and just be that difference maker. You
no,
know.
absolutely. You think about his between versatility and just his raw ability in and of itself. I
Mhm.
think you're absolutely right in that obviously two different skill sets, but can very well be a starter level pretty early into his career. I believe you're gonna get great value out of him for a guy that's gonna probably go between the second and third rounds.
Yeah, like think about it. Like even though it ended up being a touchdown, but think about that. You remember that one? You remember that what we thought was gonna be the final play? Luther Burton one hand
Yeah.
catch on him,
Yeah.
bro. You gotta make an NFL type of throw to complete a pass on him if he one on
And
one
that
on the
was
island.
and that was the throw of Brady Cook's life. Let's go ahead and make that very clear.
Fourth down, yeah,
That's
yeah.
the best throw you will ever see Brady Cook make in his lifetime, brother. You know what
He
I'm
never
saying? But that's
duplicated.
just
Nowhere they're close to it
no.
since then.
No,
Yeah,
but this also goes to show the type of level of talent that he was facing up against each and every week in the SEC. I mean, obviously we know what it is within that conference, but when you got a guy that played within a conference like that, has such a high level of production of NFL talent, you do have to consider, fam, this guy could probably play for us right now and give us great reps if we were to take him, especially for a guy that I think is gonna that you think is gonna be taken a little bit later than what his talent probably says he should. Truth be
yeah.
told, if I'm being completely honest, but you know, you got anything, you got any other guys or any other ideas out there for the Panthers in terms of what they should do draft wise?
Um, I- how you feel about Ruben Bain, bro?
Hmm.
With the arm length, everything like that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna act like I'm. I'm not gonna. Obviously, I know it plays a factor. I do believe Ruben Bain can be an effective player. I don't think he's going to be the player that he was at Miami. Like, I don't
Mhm.
think he's leading you to 15 plus sacks or anything like that. But do I think, would I like him as a rotational guy? Oh,
Yeah,
hell yeah. Absolutely. Like, I would like a guy like that in my rotation. I believe he will. I believe he can find ways to contribute at the next level. I don't when it comes down to the arm length, obviously we know how important that is, the level of bend he has. Like we know how important that's considered as well when you talk about taking edge guys. I just don't think that and obviously he's a first rounder, right? He's obviously a
mhm,
first rounder. I think you may have to lower the expectations of what you think he'll be as a pro. Like what do you think he'll peak at? What do you like? Do I think Ruben Main's peaking as a 15 sack per season type of guy? No. Do I think Ruben May could be like a 7 or 8 sack a season type of guy? I do. I do think that's possible for him. And you know, if you like that in the first round, then take it. You know, that's not like it's bad production for a first rounder. It's just not elite level production for a first rounder.
yeah.
But I think you know, I just wonder. I think he'll be better suited going to a team that's already in a playoff, that's already in the playoff hunt,
And
already
be a
in a
rotational piece. Yeah,
contending, yeah, and just be a rotational piece for that team. I think if you're hinging your bets on him being your franchise changing edge, then maybe you slow that down.
like a Miles Garrett or something. You know?
You ain't getting that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like, because we see that we can look at the two and see the difference between the two. You know what I'm saying? While the production is production, you also can look at guys and be like, oh, that's a guy.
yeah.
That's one of them
It's a
type of
dude.
guys. That's a dude. That's a dude. Ruben Bain is he could be a solid dude, but he ain't. I don't think he's the dude.
Yeah.
I guess the best way I can put it. Like,
But listen, you know, if the Panthers don't mind holding off for 1 year, I know a guy. I
oh,
know a guy.
you know what I'm saying?
If they want to hold off on him,
Um, we can put you in contact with him. You know what I'm saying? We may know some people that can get in touch with his people. Y'all connect. You know what I'm saying? You
yeah,
may, you know what I'm saying? May continue to learn Sandstorm. Who knows?
we can learn. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know,
Ain't nothing
that's
wrong with
all.
relearning it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You feel me?
You
You
feel
know,
me? But
man.
with that being said, the NBA playoffs are here. We didn't get to do a preview episode about what was gonna happen going into it because the play-in was so close to the start of the playoffs. But I gotta ask you, first time in a long time your Spurs have been in this position.
Wear the damn shirts. Wear the damn
Yeah.
shirts. Yeah.
What did you think of the opening performance for Victor Wembanyama and your San Antonio Spurs?
Wemby didn't have no first game playoff jitters. I think
Nope.
he had the best debut as a Spur first Spurs game. Best
Yeah.
debut. I think he outdid Timmy, if I'm not mistaken. This it was nothing too pretty. Nothing I can just pound my chest about. It's we just handle business. It's more so like a handle business. Or more so like you say, let's just get our feet wet a little bit like that. Devin Vassell, the threes. Went back and rewatched some highlights on that. Yeah, that definitely was a difference maker. That's why you pay. That's why we paid him $100 million a couple years back. That's why we paying
Mhm.
him money. Um, I had a conversation with my homeboy. In the other group chat we in about De'Aaron Fox. And if anybody don't follow, the Spurs fan base or anything like that, not show tease, everything. A lot of the fans are losing their patience with De'Aaron Fox. Like, I don't know, is this because of the contract? I don't know if, but what my homeboy says is like, De'Aaron Fox is doing his job. It's like,
Mhm.
the Spurs, in which everybody knows how the Spurs is. We not a selfish ball type of team. We not a, saying ISO out, saying one player is controlling the whole ball game outside of Wembanyama, but
Yeah.
Darren Fox, he getting his boards, he getting his assists, he's getting, saying he's dishing the ball out like he's supposed to. It's just the shots is not coming down for him, the 3-point shots or stuff. He's not looking like a 200 mil player.
But the thing about that is that you I guess I understand the frustration with Fox, I guess not looking like the 200 million type of guy, but we do remember that y'all did draft a generational player, right? Like we do understand that like when if it's up to whether Wemby's gonna be the guy or whether Fox is gonna be the guy, Fox knew he was taking a secondary role to Victor Wembanyama. Where he's gonna be very valuable is in these playoffs. I thought he was valuable in that first game when things start to slow up as they tend to do in the playoffs. Who's the guy that can get you out of a rut? Who's the guy that can get you a big shot? Just get you into the right set, just get the right and make the right play. I believe it's De'Aaron Fox. And the reason why he's going to be so valuable, go back and look at Dylan Harper's minutes. And look at he's young. Dylan Harper is so young and so green that he's nowhere close to ready, I think, for the playoffs yet. Regular
Right.
season is one thing. I think a lot of the guys on your team saw that the difference between the play in the playoffs and the regular season is different. You know what I'm saying? And I think Dylan Harper isn't nowhere close to ready to take the reins and run the show as the point guard. I believe he's got a lot of potential, and we all believe that.
We all agree with
But
that, yeah.
this is why De'Aaron Fox is here, because De'Aaron Fox is here to be the guy to be second fiddle to Victor. Because I mean, do we think Stephon Castle's ready to really take on that second fiddle role to Victor right now? I don't believe so. I believe there's a lot of potential there though. I think we all
Right.
agree to that. Dev, Devin Vassell or Vassell,
That's it.
that's not really his role. You know what I'm saying? This is the role made for De'Aaron Fox, and again, it may not always look pretty because De'Aaron Fox he isn't going to drop 30 plus points like he did in Sacramento. What he's being asked to do from Sacramento to here is totally different, and he's acquiescing to what that is. Like you spoke about, y'all don't play a selfish style of basketball. Y'all play a team brand of basketball that doesn't lend to a guy scoring 27 points a night. Because whose shots is he taking if he's to score to score that much anyway? I believe in these playoffs, people will continue to see his value as you move on through these games. Like game 2's coming up tonight, right? As we're recording this. You'll see
Mhm.
his value more in these games moving forward, especially as you get into the deeper rounds against better teams. You'll really
Yeah.
understand why you got to let these young guys develop, and you got to have a veteran that can right the ship and keep you and keep you steady.
Yeah. I mean, this a perfect time that I hate that CP3 was a 1-year rental. Because this is the time here, especially for these younger guys, these younger guards, Dylan Harper. You see the game that CP3 passed now. Like CP3 get a lot of he catch a lot of heat. I get that. But you can tell the advice and the direction he gave to Stephon Castle is showing. It's showing
Mhm.
his game is so much Stephon Castle game is so much, it's that point guard mindset that's very similar, that's very, gritty, just like what CP3 had, you know. But uh, it sucks, man. I wish we got CP3 a whole lot sooner, but that veteran presence is definitely needed in our room, you know.
No,
And
yeah, absolutely. I'm
And
sorry, but go ahead.
but yeah. And it's like I said, it's like we said, before the playoffs even started. I said the only thing that really concerns me about our guys, being so young is experience. Outside of what Keldon Johnson and or with De'Aaron Fox, Harrison Barnes too. Three
Yeah,
guys. We got 3 guys with they got playoff experience. Um, some I think Harrison Barnes won the ring. What he was with the
yeah,
Warriors,
he won,
correct?
right?
Yeah, won
Yeah.
the ring with the Warriors. Yeah. So
Mhm.
but it's like he only could tell what it is. He only showed what he got one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you younger guys, y'all got to play like y'all want this. You
Yeah.
know,
But this is all part of the process too. And again, this is the part where you start where you're watching a young team come into its own. And we watched it with OKC a couple years ago, and you
right?
and you start to see like they're going to be growing pains with figuring out how to play in the playoffs. I think the thing that works in y'all's favor is that you have a 7'5" demigod that shot the ball lights out from 3-point range,
Yeah,
understands what he is defensively and how to and how to affect the game. So much so that teams don't even attempt to attack the rim. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? I think that's the difference between many young teams prior to and the team that you guys have is that nobody's had this caliber of player. He's a one of one. I mean, he's truly what we call a generational player. Many
correct.
people get tagged with that title. Not many people can live up to that title. He's already you've seen when he's gotten to play consistently, the massive leaps and bounds he's been able to make. And obviously, as a hater, because I'm a hate, but do understand the hate comes from respect from what you got from what the guy can do. So it wouldn't be coming if it wouldn't be here if it wasn't warranted. Trust and believe.
Correct. I mean, look, man, look. The Spurs and Lakers rivalry goes way back, man. We just grown. We grew up. We grew up in the golden days of the NBA,
Come on,
bro.
bro.
Like if to stop the Lakers, I mean, think about it. One for us, hell, Kobe and Shaq. Would y'all at least would have been at what
The
8?
2000s were ran by these two franchises. Like quite
Off real,
literally,
off real.
these two teams either went through each other to go win a chip. Like
Yeah, it's vice
we knew we
versa.
had to see each other in order to win a championship. Whoever wins this matchup is probably going to the title, and whoever wins this matchup is probably winning the title more times
Yeah.
than not.
Yeah, this Colts and Patriots, this Panic, this Peyton and Brady, this, you know what I'm saying? Well, Peyton didn't really see that shit that much, but
You know
this is
what
something.
I'm saying?
It's you know what I'm
It's
saying?
one of those types of rivalries. No, facts.
Correct.
And you understand what that matchup means when you get to it because like you said, it's whoever wins this, we know what's up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But even moving around, I just to speak on my boys for a bit. I'll be honest, man, y'all it somebody will have a very hard time telling me there's a better player than that man from Akron, Ohio. Real spill. When you talk about a guy, just his level of versatility from how he can go from being, okay, I'm gonna be Aaron Gordon for a few months. I'm gonna
Mhm.
play the third man role. Luke and AR, y'all boys cook. I'll do whatever else it is extra on the side to make sure this team stays afloat. Austin Reeves and Luca are down. Fam, this man is 41 years old. I can take over the scoring. I can handle. I can handle. I can handle the weight offensively. I can go be the best scorer on the floor. I can go be the distributor.
Yeah, no
I look at
choice.
how he handled game one against Houston. I was
Mhm.
surprised by the approach he took because I honestly, truth be told, put him down on the parlay, took him for 25 points. I said 25 points, 8 assists. I said he should be a lock for that. He got the aim. He got me the 8 assists in the first quarter. The approach he took with scoring and being and making sure that his teammates were fed, making sure his teammates were involved because when you don't have either of those guys like we talked about in Luka and AR, everybody else is gonna have to step up. They need that confidence that they're gonna be able to make plays when it's time. The approach he took to that game, man, like okay, I go from being one of the better scorers to I just go be Magic Johnson and CP3 for a game. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? And give you my best version of that. It's just I don't know if we've ever seen a player that's been able to just be as malleable in terms of just conforming to whatever the situation calls. You know what I'm saying? Some guys can think it and the fact that he's still at the age now, well, he's still at that point now where he obviously he sees the game better than most guys, probably better than, we talking about better than most guys that have ever played the game, but his body is still at that point where he can still do the things that he's seen within his mind. It's also one of those things where it's like, dog, this is one of the greatest players that ever had graced the court. And people can have their debates about who they think is the best. I won't debate it with you. Everybody's entitled to their opinion on that one.
Yeah.
I tell you, you'll be hard. It'll be hard to find a guy at his size that plays with that level of athleticism that he's played with throughout his career, that is as smart on the basketball court and being able to adjust on the fly the way that he is. He sees the game like a coach is calling the game from the sidelines, and that's just very rare. And I don't know. I'm gonna make sure I appreciate it while it's still here, because I don't know if we're seeing too many guys like that come through the league after he's
And
done.
and understand the Rockets is a well coached team. They got, my man,
Facts.
I can't say his name, but
Ime
Ime
Udoka.
Ime Udoka, yeah. Well coached team. It sucks that KD went down, and I got something to say about KD too, man. Like he is too great, too great of a player, just for his legacy to be the way it is, dog. He's just too great of a player. Once you think he's doing good, he locked in, gonna make a deep playoff run. He just gonna be held up by injuries, and then you got 2 rings where he's on a fucking mega team with the Warriors. There's 2 rings. Like it's hard for me to take KD serious, and great. Like I was saying, great player, great
Yeah,
player,
great player.
great player, terrific player. He's just too good of a damn player to be having the career that that he's having. Injuries always,
It's
yeah.
but I mean, you're right. I ain't mean to interrupt, but
No,
it
you
is one
good.
of those careers where it's like, I understand KD's one of the greatest scorers I've ever seen. Like at that size, what he's able to do, how consistent he's able to be, even at this stage of his career, averaging 25 points at what age 37. Like that's
Hmm.
not supposed to happen, right? You talk about what he was at his apex. Like we ain't seen too many guys do this at his size. He's a one of one. So much so that everybody in the league is trying to recreate what KD is, and you just can't do it. He's just too unique of a player to even recreate that. And like you said, there are just these moments that is like, bro, like you got rings, but you got them with, like you said, a mega team.
Hmm.
Like the super of super teams. Like you got it with that. You haven't quite reached the heights that we thought you would outside of that point in your career. You have one MVP. Obviously, you have the scoring titles to your name and everything and everything of that nature. But it's like, I think what we think your talent level is and what we've gotten out of you is two different things. Truth be told, I mean, I'm appreciative of Kevin Durant.
Same.
I think the game has changed, and it's much harder for guys to do what was done in prior generations.
Hmm.
Like I think if you don't, I think certain styles lend to you winning more MVPs. I think it's harder for a guy that is mostly a scorer. Like you don't like your scoring is effective and you as a scorer affects the defense and how it plays. I think it's hard for that style to win multiple MVPs like how Joker does. Joker's a guy he's the facilitator of the offense, and he's offense in and of itself
Everything.
in terms of scoring. So it's like
The
he's
Nuggets, everything,
everything all in one. Right.
everything.
He's everything all in one. And so when you and then when you have and it's tough considering the type of play Kevin Durant is, because it's like if you're gonna be a scorer, you have to be. You look at what SGA is. You got to go
Hmm.
average a 30 ball. You got to go be effective on the defensive side of the ball and things of that nature. Okay, well, you look at what Steph Curry did it. Well, you got to be
Yeah.
one of the greatest shooters of all time, and you got to be that massive offensively. And KD is, but it's also just
Availability is
what
the
us
best
is
ability, dog.
effective.
Availability is the best ability, man. You got, but
This right here I won't put on him. I mean, I think he's had to shoulder a lot of the load this year with no point guard, with no Fred VanVleet tearing his ACL, before the season even started. He's had to
yeah,
shoulder a lot, and even what they've been able to do has been a lot of because of what because of who Kevin Durant is. Is just right now, I mean, he's banged. I mean, it's just one of those unfortunate things. I won't call it an indictment on his career overall. It's just one of those things where it's like, it's just shit happens.
I know, yeah. You know, we don't want nobody playing with injuries or anything like that. But it's tough, man. It's tough, but like since he is down, it did give y'all a huge advantage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, I think do you think? Well, obviously, KD's not gonna miss the whole damn series, but
No, he's not.
I also saw that Luca. I don't know where I really saw official report, but I saw that Luca may be coming back soon. Like what, game 3 ish?
I saw that. I saw that as well. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think we would have to make it to the next round in order to see Luca come back. I don't think there's a. I would say there's no chance. Don't believe. I just don't believe they push it and allow him to come back by game 3. I just don't see it. And truth be told, I'm not gonna lie, not for nothing. I mean, obviously, if Luka came back and he's healthy and he's good to go, yeah, I think Luka and LeBron enough to win this series for sure. Not even,
Mhm,
I'm not even batting an eye at that. Um, Currently, even with no Kevin Durant, I think with no Kevin Durant on the court, we win the series.
mhm,
We had the best player in the game on the court at that, during that time frame. I believe we're gonna have to win the series. I believe Houston's gonna would get a couple games off of us and it goes 6. If Kevin Durant's on the floor and he's effective, he doesn't necessarily have to be fully healthy, but if he's on the floor and he's effective, I don't think we can win. I just don't. I just think what he is offensively and what he means to how you have to defend as well is too much of a problem for us. Um, just with no other secondary scorer that is like a dominant secondary scorer. I don't see us winning this series if Kevin Durant is able to come back and be healthy and be effective.
mhm.
I will say that much. So, but
I
yeah, no,
see.
go
I,
ahead. My fault.
well, overall, I mean, I got y'all winning the series. I actually do. I actually do. I like what I see. I like what I saw with y'all. Um, unless Jabari Smith or Sarah Thompson, unless they can just take that lead, just take the load off of KD whenever you do get healthy. But I think if y'all take tonight, it's definitely gonna
Tonight will
make
be
it.
huge.
It's gonna be yeah. This is a huge make or break here.
No, absolutely.
I think they may try to get one on. I think they may get one of y'all back in Houston, back in H Town. But y'all getting tonight will be that definitely be huge for y'all.
I'll tell you this: if this series were to go, say we win tonight, it just if it win tonight, you probably lose game 3.
Hmm.
You got to find a way to you have to split when you go to Houston. Like if you win tonight, you have to find a way to split when you
Got
go
to
to
win one
Houston.
H Town. Yeah.
I believe if you get it to 5, I believe Luka could come back by game 5. I
Correct.
believe if you can just give this more time, you keep kicking the can down the road and give yourself a chance, you'll get game 5. I believe will be where you're like, okay, starting to ramp it up a bit. You
Hmm.
probably could see Luka come back. The longer this series gets extended, obviously the higher probability that you can get Luka back. Um, it's one of those things where it's like it's just if Kevin Durant is back, I can you get a game off of Kevin Durant if he's back?
Yeah.
And that's gonna really be the biggest question for me. Um, it's like, do I think DeAndre Ayton is gonna be as effective as he was in that first game? I'm like, that hasn't been the case. Luke Kennard, I will say Luke Kennard over this stretch of where Luke and AR have,
Hmm.
have been out, he's definitely shown more of his playmaking ability and what he can do as a scorer if he's given more opportunity and more free reign to be able to go do so. It's
Hmm.
just eh, where's the rest of it gonna come from? Do you think Marcus Smart's gonna give you that 15 points consistently? Jay LaRavia, do I think he's gonna give me that consistently? It just when the deeper you go into your roster, I feel better about Houston and what they have than what compared to what we
Then what
have
we get?
without
Yeah.
our top 2 scorers. That's kind of where everything really lies at for me. But you know, look, okay, so there are other games we can hit, but let me not sit here and tell this lie. I haven't watched much of that New York Knicks and Atlanta series.
I
I
didn't
caught
either.
the
I
end of
didn't
that
either.
game last night. Great win for Atlanta. Horrible choke job by New York because how do you smoke that lead that late in the game at home? You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But
And Madison
I
Square Garden.
believe,
Mm,
e- e- come on now, but I believe New York still takes a series. I think it goes, I think it'll, I think Atlanta gets one more in Atlanta, but
mm-hmm.
that one probably goes 6 and New York takes it. Um, Detroit and Orlando. I'm kind of jumping around, but Detroit and Orlando, there's not a big gap between those two teams. And
Mm,
remember, you talked about Orlando earlier, earlier in the year when we were talking about teams that we think could possibly go get it done. And I had New York. You spoke about Detroit. The reason, my reasoning for not loving Detroit is what do I love outside of Kay Cunningham as a scoring option? Looking at what Jalen Duren did in that first game, that's your next man up. Who's the guy outside of that can go get his own shot, create his own buckets outside of Cade Cunningham? That guy doesn't really exist to me on that
mm.
roster. And
Yeah.
so the more I think about it, and I know Orlando believes that they have the matchup, and truth be told, Orlando kind of does have an evenly matched team. When you go through that roster and look at who they have and compare that to Detroit, yeah, I believe Orlando fully believes they can go get that series and win in game one the way that you did, being just as physical, being just as tough, being able to make your shots, make your big shots. It does play a part into, especially to the confidence of how you approach this series. And I believe Orlando is fully confident they can go get this thing done.
Yeah. Like shit. Wendell Carter bodied down Durant, man. It's kind of crazy. Um, it's tough, man. In Detroit, the Pistons they've been down for so long, like years, like literally Charlotte Bobcat level of down. Like it was on that tier. And every year when you think it's their year, man, it's just I think the Magic is a dangerous team to get them out their way, man. If
Yeah,
Desmond Bain continue to play like what he playing, they got depth.
yeah,
They
yeah.
got the Desmond Bain trade. There was a W trade from Memphis, bro.
It's a it's a it's a I think that one worked out. It
Perfect.
worked out. I believe it's gonna work out for Memphis a little bit further down the road when you look at all the picks they got back for them.
Oh yeah,
Um, the biggest thing for me though is how Banchero played offensively, because you think about what the biggest knock on Orlando coming in was that how bad they were struggling coming into the play-in. That first game against Philly, they play like dog shit. They get it going against Charlotte, and they carry that momentum into that first game against Detroit. If
yeah.
Banchero can play with a consistent level of offense, they're gonna have a chance. If he
Mhm.
can knock down tough shots, if he can get in the paint and start to bang down low, yeah, I believe they fully have a chance because they're just as big, they're just as physical. Truth be told, I'm gonna keep it so real about how I feel about Detroit. I don't like them. Don't like them. I'm gonna be honest. I think they're fake tough,
Mhm.
and I think when you start looking at how their team is built and how they're supposed to be able to contend for a championship, I don't think they can beat New York. I don't think they can beat Boston. I don't think
No, they
nobody's
can't beat
beating
Boston.
Boston. Let me be very clear. I don't
Yeah,
think anybody in the East is seeing Boston. I think it's Boston's title to lose in the Eastern Conference. Let's be clear. Even with being the number one seed, I don't even think they're suitable. I I like what they are defense. Like obviously you like what they are defensively. I think Cleveland would get them out of here.
yeah. I say Cavs. I was about to say. I say maybe Cavs. Cavs the only one can give them hit. Cavs only one. Cavs can give the Celtics hell, but they definitely can beat Detroit.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure. It's just like I just don't, even with you being the one seed, I tested their one seed to being a team, obviously a young and improving team for sure. But big emphasis on young, because typically younger teams, they're playing more games in the regular season. They're getting more
yeah,
minutes out of their best players in the regular season. So them winning more games, if they have good players and if they are getting better, then yes, it's not a foregone conclusion that you'll win a lot of games, but it's typically, we've seen this before from younger teams. You go out, you win a whole bunch of games in the regular season, but when the playoffs get here, you start to see who's really built for the long haul and who's built to withstand a team game plan against you every single night. It's much different than playing in Charlotte on a Tuesday and being in LA and being in LA by Friday. It's just a very different
Mm,
game, and you start to see why these younger teams start to struggle the more and more you get deeper into the playoffs.
right. And Celtics is
But
one of them teams, man. They just battle tested, bro. It's just a very battle, and it with Tatum being back, it definitely just give them that difference, you know.
it's yeah,
Right.
there isn't an answer for him. I mean, kudos to Jason Tatum. We never got to talk about this, but him working himself back to being ready to play from a torn Achilles, dog, is one of
Yeah.
the most amazing things I think we've ever seen in sports. I think is obviously I think it surpasses what Adrian Peterson did off of his torn ACL, going there and running 2,000 yards the next season. Like
Yeah.
it's that caliber of amazing. Instead and looking like the same player. I don't know if he's all the way. I don't know if he's all the way back to trusting that leg just yet. I just don't
Mm.
think you can off of that kind of injury. You can put in
It
all the
takes a
work
while.
you want to. It takes a while to get that trust back,
Yeah.
and that's always that factor we always hear from athletes about mentally. I still don't know if my trust is 100% there, but even with where he's at right now, they're still the best team in the East, and
Correct.
there's gonna come a time in these playoffs where he's gonna take it over.
Hmm.
Jaylen Brown, kudos to Jaylen Brown. That brother did an amazing job, put himself in the MVP conversation, showed that I can be the number one.
Yeah.
If there were any, if there were ever any questions about how good is Jaylen Brown, is it a 1A, 1B type of situation? It definitely is. And I think
Hmm.
that Tatum being able to play the secondary role is better for Jason Tatum. I believe Jaylen Brown is more fit for the alpha dog role. Like, hey, look, man, give me the ball. I'm willing to
Hmm.
take the shots. I want the pressure. I'll take on one of the best matchups on the other end of the floor.
That's what you
I can
do.
handle it offensively myself.
That's
I'm
what
one of
you
those
do.
guys. He's of that cloth of the
Hmm.
guys that we watched growing up. That hey, look, put it on me. I'm the guy.
Yeah.
Don't look to nobody else. I can get it done. And I think with that moving forward into the playoffs, as guys start to wear down, as we know they do in the playoffs, Jason Tatum will probably continue to ascend as he keeps
Hmm.
playing more games and playing more minutes. They're going to be tough to beat. There's nobody in the East, I think, that can really hold a candle to him at this point.
Nah. Yeah, you nailed it, bro. It's,
Like,
tonight, we should get my predictions out the way for the night, man. I think we take game two, against Portland. Again, hell of a team though. Portland's a hell of a team. Portland's a hell of a team, man. I
absolutely.
like seeing I like seeing these young in these these young guys that we just watch. You know, they highlight clips and everything like that. You know, like years back, like COVID and stuff like that. How they are like Scoot Henderson. I remember looking at Scoot Henderson highlights. Shaden Sharp, all of them. Like
Yeah.
Shaden Sharp didn't even play. Kind of similar like Kyrie Irving. What play like what 2 games over there in Kentucky or something like that, balling, hooping, being that key part of what the Blazers are. So I mean, kudos to the Blazers, man. They really gave us hell. They was trying to fight back, you know what I'm saying? But you know, um, Vassell being that difference maker for us. But give us game two. I think the Blazers are gonna get 1 or 2, maybe 1 or 2 on us.
I
But
think they get one. I
one,
think one, I can't see anything more than one. If anything, I, I'd be very surprised if they got
yeah,
more than one. That would genuinely shock me.
it'd be
But getting
concerning.
one
Yeah, it'd be
game,
concerning.
it'd be a bit concerning. I cannot lie. Denny Avia, you talk about guys that's probably going
Cold,
to win most improved this year. You talk.
cold.
He is he is a riser in these moments. I mean, you look at what he did in the play in. Dominant
Mm-hmm.
performance. I thought he had a good performance even in game one against you guys. But again, I just think there's too many bodies you guys that San Antonio can throw at them. Too many options out there for San Antonio as well offensively. Um, I just don't believe that there are moments that Portland had in that game where they could have closed it. They would
Yeah,
not closed it, but just could have got over over the hump and at least taken the lead for at least a split second. Um, just don't believe. I believe they'll continue to fight. I don't believe they have enough to get one in San Antonio for sure. So I'll take you guys in game two. Um,
mm-hmm.
76ers Celtics. I mean, I'm the Celtics in the sweep. I'm not even playing around with this. Celtics are clean sweep in this series. I have no doubt in my mind about that. Um, Rockets Lakers. Money line has Houston. Depends on who plays.
Mm-hmm.
Truly depends on who plays. If Kevin Durant's on the court, give me Houston. If there is no Kevin Durant, I expect a better game from those young guys over there. I do expect those guys to play better for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it may gonna get on their ass. Yeah, that's
He may definitely gonna get. I may would take him either way. I may take him. I may take Houston either way in this one. I'm not gonna lie. I think the only I just don't foresee LA's other guys continuously having shooting performances like how they did in game one. Give me Houston in that one. But also too, we didn't and we didn't get to hit this. That Minnesota Timberwolves game 2 versus the Denver Nuggets.
Mhm.
In that game, they were down by as many as 19 points in the first half.
Then
Fought their way
Timberwolves.
back.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Cause we thought, yeah, you text me. He's like, hey, that's Serbian, and he
he ain't really
he ain't playing.
he ain't really have it. But I'm gonna tell you
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you who I give the most credit to because of that. Rudy Gobert. I think Rudy Gobert in the first 2 games has played phenomenal against Joker. He's bothered him. He's been in his way. He's played like the defensive player of the year, right?
Mhm.
Like he's like, and that's all we ask for Rudy Gobert is to be. You're a 4-time DPOY. That's a 3-time MVP over there. Can you please match up and show up for this for these assignments?
You're gonna have
These
to.
are the assignments that make you like. Why are we giving you DPOYs if you're not if you can't handle any of these guys? I thought the game plan that Minnesota implemented was similar to what the Lakers did to Joker in 2020 in the bubble. Physicality. Get up on them, bother them, keep your hands on them, muscle them up.
Mm-hmm.
Don't allow this guy to get to his spots. Don't allow him to free flow and run that offense. You have to continuously make him feel your presence and have him thinking about you in some shape, form, or fashion. Joker's one of the best offensive players we've ever seen in this game. If you allow him to, he will orchestrate great offensive play after great offensive play. He can get his own shots. You have to consistently bother him. Gobert did a great job. Julius Randle did a great job. And when you have your moments where Jaden McDaniels and Nas Reed also get their cracks at him. And it's what I talked to you about in the pre-show. You look at the size of Minnesota. Rudy Gobert 7'1", Julius Randle 6'10", Jay McDaniels 6'10", Nas Reed 6'9". A lot of different size combinations they can throw at them, which again, similar to what the Lakers did in 2020, we're gonna continuously throw size at you. You're gonna see somebody your height. You're gonna see somebody that's gonna play physical with you. That's not going to allow you to do what you want to do. Their perimeter defense also was stellar. Dante DiVincenzo. I saw him have many great plays against Jamal Murray, who we know can cook.
Yeah.
And Jamal Murray still had a great game. It's not like they stopped him, but there are plenty of moments within that game where you start looking at just the hand-eye discipline, staying on your feet, not allowing them to catch you not allowing them to catch you in the air and get those shooting fouls. Even though there were a lot of fouls in that game last night, I believe Minnesota, the longer they can extend this series, the healthier Anthony Edwards gets after coming off of that knee injury, and the more in shape he gets back into game form, that's a problem. And I
It
would
takes
not be surprised if Minnesota can can get Denver up out of here.
and it will
And
take
that's
a
just the
load
facts.
and that will take a load off of not only my team, your team. Y'all get past the Rockets and OKC. So
Hey, no, you know what? Truth be told, you are absolutely right in that. But I'm gonna tell you right now though, a healthy Anthony Edwards with that team playing the way they are defensively, tough out for anybody. That's why I told you when the seeding shook out and we ended up as the 4th seed, I told you, thank God we don't have to see those damn
the
demons. That's too much.
Timberwolves.
That's a lot of bro. Just what, bro? You talking about 4 guys that are 6'9" and taller that can
Yeah.
defend. These are not trees. These are athletes. These
Mm-hmm.
are guys that can move and can run. They create a lot of problems for a lot of teams. Nobody wants to see them. The healthier Anthony Edwards gets, Anthony Edwards is one of those guys too that like he's one of those ones. He's of that ilk of the guy that we knew growing up,
That guy.
like a Bean, like a McGrady, like one of those guys that is a killer. Stone
Yeah.
Cold Killer.
Talk
I
shit to
mean,
you. He gonna
come
talk
on,
his
bro.
yeah. Yeah.
I even look at what he did defensively. The
Yeah.
amount of I think he had like 4 or 5 blocks by himself. What
Yeah.
he's able to do defensively, the type of athlete he is, that's a problem. And that's the reason why Denver always has a problem with him because they don't have the athletes for that matchup. And truth be told, I know I said Denver would be a problem for you guys, but looking at obviously veteran leadership and having the experience, but if I go just across the board athletics, guys that can run, guys that I don't think Denver. I don't think Denver can too much mess with y'all. Of course, if they slow the game down and things of that nature, but you do still have a 7'5" unicorn in the paint waiting on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like even still, that's still always going to be the answer to a lot of questions that you have about the Spurs. So,
Mhm.
but that's all I got. That's all I had to mention that series and what that game was looking like because that's going to be the most entertaining series.
It is. It is.
Damn, you know who we
That's
forgot to talk about?
okay, see?
Yeah. I don't really want to waste no time on it because, like, what are we gonna say?
BTA. It's straight belt.
BTA.
They sent them boys through there. Like
I'm gonna tell you right now,
it's bad.
it's bad. But like when you start looking at the team that can really do it, though, obviously, I think y'all can really, I think y'all can really do it. I think y'all could really go make a run at it this year, and
It's
I
gonna be
can't.
tough. It's
It's gonna be
tough, but
tough, of course,
shit,
because
but
it's the first go at it. But like when I start looking at these teams, I look at OKC for example, 10 guys that can go defend. If I'm telling you the worst defender is SGA, that's a damn problem, bro.
yeah.
That's a problem. That's a problem. I the every lineup has 5 guys that can defend, guys that can score offensively. There isn't a guy. You know who the worst offensive player that plays big minutes for them may be? Alex Caruso.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the worst
10.
offensive player. Like that's the guy. But everybody else, AJ Mitchell came off the bench, start sniping from 3. You got guys
And
like
Jeremy
Isaiah
McCain,
Joe.
and then Jeremy McCain didn't even play that much, but he's literally another guy that if they wanted to, they want to unleash.
There's gonna be a moment where he will be asked to do more. He will be pushed out there to do more.
Dude didn't
But
play to the fourth quarter. Dude didn't play to the fourth quarter.
they have an embarrassment of riches over there.
Yeah.
Good teams get better.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like they're still eating out the Paul George trade. You got Philly
Oh
who
my
traded
gosh.
McCain over there for some. Yeah,
Some reason.
whatever, bro. That team is poised to go do it again. It's gonna be fun watching the top dogs duke it out. That's all I can say about that.
That's when the NBA is
That's
the
where
but yeah, this NBA playoffs is very exciting, bro. For a very long time, for
yeah.
the first time in a long time, dog. Like,
I think you're gonna say that because your team ended again.
you know, both our teams too. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we can.
Yeah, no, fans. Fans. We both end up, but like, I have a realistic ceiling for where my team is gonna get to. I'm enjoying what's gonna happen in this first round series. I know there's a cap on what we can do.
And
The
I'm
real
also
players, you know the real players in the you know what I'm saying that's at the dance. You know the real ones is at the dance and it's gonna be fun to watch how these teams handle. I'm interested to see how each team handled their first round matchup, how quickly you can work through them,
any
and
improvements, any you know what I'm
yeah,
saying,
the
any
improvements, the adjustments, how do guys handle the game to game situations? Like it's gonna be. This is the part about NBA basketball and the playoffs that's so interesting. Is that it's one you get more of the sport
yeah,
more than any other playoff aside from baseball, of course. But baseball and hockey.
yeah,
But it's just the game in and game out adjustments of it is kind of fun. It's what makes you realize that basketball really is a thinking man's game. When you
yeah,
really have to sit down and watch every single one, you're like, oh damn, like it's every single possession is like, how do I get to my spot? How do I get us into the right play? How do I get us to the best look, to to the best look on the floor? It's a beautiful game to watch when done right.
yeah. I'll say this, and this is my final thing to say. I expect a better outing out of our young guys, Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper. I just want to see the improvement. if those two improve, and I'm talking about playing a very comfortable game tonight, it takes the load off Wemby. Because what happens if Wemby is shooting bad behind the arc? What we doing then? What to do? What now? Fox, you got Fox. Hey, Fox, we're looking at you. 200 mil.
Yeah.
Fox, we're
That's
looking
where you're
at
gonna
you.
have to start seeing guys like him. Yeah.
We're looking at you, Fox. Come on.
Yeah. It's a lot of pressure. I like the pressure. I just want to see how guys respond. I
Yeah.
just want to see how guys respond to it.
And I think he's capable. I really think Fox is capable. I think he's just taking a lot of heat because there's a standard. Look, our fan base. Look, we have a standard. Damn, we have a
Yeah.
standard.
I mean,
And
you won
Lakers
five
too.
titles?
5 titles. And you know what I'm
Five
saying?
titles, there's a
Dynasty.
standard that comes with that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just it'd be crazy if you didn't have one at that point. But with that being said, Brother D, we miss you. I wish you could join us here on this side of things. I know you don't know what this feels like. You was talking real crazy to me. This is why I gotta shoot back. You know what I'm saying? I can't let you just get that one off on me. You know what I'm saying? I know you don't know what this feel like. And I'll be honest, brother, you may never know what this feels like. I don't know if you know what this like. Like the phone rings a few times when we call. You know what I'm saying? Like for Ace, it rings 5 times. For me, you damn that guy saying the voicemail. You gotta call a few times for it to get done ringing. You know what I'm saying? Like 17 times. You know what I'm saying?
God,
you may never know this feeling.
Why he catch a straight? He not even here to defend himself, man.
No. And this is what I love, bro. Kick them while they down. This your whole Shanti Store. This has been Jump Dropping Sports. I'm your host, Shanti Stewart. This is my co-host, A. Smith. And
Wemby's 81.
We out.
Wemby's 81.